The Carolina Hurricanes go north of the border tonight to take on the Montreal Canadiens in a game that could see the debut of trade deadline acquisition Jesse Puljujarvi, and we'll talk about all of that game and the potential of seeing Jesse tonight in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Tuesday afternoon. Don't forget to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis _96 and subscribe to the show on YouTube. Now tonight, folks, the Hurricanes are up in Montreal to take on the Canadiens. The Hurricanes are on a heck of a run right now. They've won back-to-back games against Arizona and Tampa Bay, respectively. And in those games, the Hurricanes were absolutely firing on all cylinders. And that final cylinder being the power play. The power play has been looking fantastic, going 3 for 4 and then against Arizona and then 4 for 5 against Tampa Bay. We haven't seen power play performances like this from the Hurricanes all year, so it is great that it is firing on all cylinders right now, and a big part of that has been the other Hurricanes trade deadline acquisition, Shane Gostisbehere, who I'll obviously just refer to as Ghost because I'm still struggling to pronounce that last name along with Puljujarvi. But, getting into tonight's game, there's a lot going on in this game. First and foremost, we could see the debut of Jesse Puljujarvi in tonight's game. He had a meeting yesterday in Ottawa to try to get his visa issues resolved, and he's supposed to be meeting with the team today, and we could possibly be seeing him debut for the Hurricanes today. And that's big for the Hurricanes. Obviously, you look at how Ghost just so easily slotted in and became a big difference maker right away. Obviously, I'm gonna be realistic here. That's not gonna happen with every single trade deadline acquisition, whether it's the Hurricanes, another NHL team, a NBA team, NFL team, MLB, MLS, whatever. That's not always going to happen of someone slot in, make such a big change right then and there. But with that being tonight, I know a lot of folks are looking forward to him making his debut for the Hurricanes. A lot of hype around the Hurricanes fan base. People are ready to see him suit up for the Hurricanes. I think that's going to be it's going to be one of the big things going into tonight's game of will we see him? And if we do, how will he perform? Now, we'll obviously, touch on this with lineup predictions, but, if he does make his debut tonight, I've said before, I'll say it again, I see him slotting in there on that fourth line, maybe having Derek Stepan or Steph Nazin be a healthy scratch tonight. That's what I'm thinking will happen tonight. And I would say, with that, I think that's the easiest way to do it. You look at Jesperi Kotkaniemi, whenever he came in, that's kind of where they slotted him in, let him get a feel of stuff, and really just ease him into the Hurricanes' way of doing things. Because you listen to what Shane said of there being a lot of things, that in terminology with the Hurricanes that didn't understand. And obviously, the team is, of course, going to help him get up to speed on stuff and whatnot. Obviously, you look at they did for Shane. Of course, that's going to happen. So that's a big thing tonight. And another big thing is Sebastian Aho. He is going to be skating in his 500th career game, and that's obviously big milestone, of course. And it's kind of fitting it happens against Montreal, with everything, with them. So it's obviously going to be fun, and that's going to be something that I know the Hurricanes make a big deal of him, playing in his 500th career game, because that is a big deal. And we did have several other milestones in this game as well. We're going to take a look at those because again, there's several milestones for tonight's game. Again, Sebastian Aho skating in his 500th game. Jesperi Kotkaniemi won't be this game, but the Flyers game, barring anything crazy happening, is 300th NHL game. And then we have Jalen Chatfield, 5 games away from 100 career NHL games played. Jordan Martinook is 5 assists shy of 100 career NHL assists. So, a lot of milestones coming up, but the big one for today is Sebastian Aho being in his 500th game. That's big for him. And this is the second meeting of the season for these two teams, with the first meeting being on Cam Ward's Hall of Fame induction night, where we saw Seth Jarvis get his first career hat trick. So the Hurricanes have really given it just one game, but they've really stuck it to Montreal this season. And with the way they have been rolling as of late, I would fully expect it to be more of the same tonight. And because, again, talk about the impact Ghost has had on the power play so far has been a very, very big contributing factor to how good this team has been over these past couple games. And he's not the only one that has been really hot as of late. Brent Burns, he's had an assist, at least one assist in 3 consecutive games. Marty Necas, he's earned a point in 3 straight games. And actually, with Burns, it has been 6 assists. Necas, it has been 2 goals and 5 assists. Ghost has recorded a goal and point in back-to-back games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Necas has also posted an assist in back-to-back games, or at least one, with 5 assists. As I mentioned, Andrei Svechnikov has registered a point in back-to-back games, 1 goal and 2 assists. So a lot of guys are contributing right now, and that's going to be big heading into this game tonight. It's not just one guy, it is the team, and they're playing a really complete team game right now. And that is what is really going to carry them in tonight's game against Montreal, Thursday against Philly, and down the remainder of the regular season into the playoffs. They are playing so good as a team right now. That's really, really big. And I think, you also look at Montreal, they've been struggling as of late as well, with them coming off a loss against Vegas, which was a 1-goal loss. It was a 4-3 loss to Vegas on a Sunday. And not only, are they coming off that one, they've also suffered 3 straight 1-goal losses. So, that's going to be something that we've seen how losing streaks can affect the mental state of a team. It could be for the better. It could make them mad, and they go out there and play really tough and really hard. And you look at the recent history between these two teams. You do factor that in as well. And they've also been struggling to create offense this year. Also, we talked about that in that game against Arizona, of how the Hurricanes should take advantage of that, and they most definitely did. And with Montreal, they are just averaging 27.1 shots a game, which is 31st in the NHL. So, and we know how good the Hurricanes are. They're top. Last I checked, they're top 3. I want to say they're either second or third in the NHL when it came to averaging shots. So the Hurricanes are really going to hold a big advantage in that department as well. And of course, it is worth mentioning, Nick Suzuki, he is leading the Canadians in points with 49 points in 63 games. So, again, a lot of folks are struggling, to, rack up points there in Montreal this year. So, the Hurricanes, they need to take advantage of that. And I, with the way this team is playing right now, that is not a big concern for me. It is a concern because we've seen in the past of how they can just, you know, give up good opportunities like that. I've said before, when they go against a team with a bad penalty kill, that especially with the way the Hurricanes power play had been for the large majority of the season, taking advantage of going against teams with bad penalty kills, and they weren't doing that. So as of right now, though, the Hurricanes are taking advantage of those opportunities, and just as of late, they have been, and especially these past two games, where they've been firing on all cylinders. But there's still a lot more to talk about with tonight's game, and we will do that right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, we got that game against the Canadiens tonight and Flyers on Thursday. And if you're wanting to place a bet on any of those games or another Hurricanes game or an NBA game, uh, whatever it may be, FanDuel is the place to do it, folks. The midway point of the NBA season is here, and now is the perfect time to download the FanDuel app. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and best of all, new customers get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scores, and if you're betting on a basketball game, threes drained as well. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to fanduel.com/locked on. That is fanduel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, getting back into tonight's game against the Canadiens, uh, talk about, so many other guys that have been on runs as of late when it comes to scoring points. But I mentioned it in the episode the other day, the run that Antti Ranta has been on as of late. And I am fully expecting him to be getting the start tonight. Now, I've made goalie predictions in the past and been completely wrong. I'll say Freddie gets a start. I'll say Piotr gets a start. I'll say Antti gets a start. And then it's whoever happens to be what I would predict would be the backup in that game. And I've been wrong quite a bit about that. So, but I do feel we could see Antti Ranta tonight with just how good he has been. And he has been he is on a 13-0-2 run in his last 15 appearances, which, and obviously, again, as I've mentioned so many times, that is a franchise record, and he passed it several games ago. I want to say 13 was the record, and he keeps passing it, extending that point streak. And it has been a heck of a run to watch, one that is really flying under the radar. As I said the other day, if this was a bigger name goalie, if it was, Andre Vasilevsky, if it was Marc-Andre Fleury, heck, if it was Freddie Anderson, it would be the talk of the league, just this run that he's been on. But it's Antti Ranta, not as big of a name, typically a number 2 goalie, so it's not getting as much attention. And he's just on a heck of a run right now. You could, don't get me wrong, I would go Antti Ranta tonight because of how good he's been. And you also look at his last game against Montreal, that game where Seth Jarvis had his hat trick. He made 20 of 22, he stopped 20 stopped 20 shots of 20. He made 20 saves out of 22 shots. Good Lord. My brain just turned to mashed potatoes, leaked out the side of my head, and it was rough there for a second, guys. But he's been on a heck of a run as of late, and I don't see why you wouldn't want to go with him. Again, Freddie, he's coming off a 6-0 shutout. He only made 14 saves, and that's a testament to the Hurricanes defense of just how good it has been. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either goalie that you got right now. They're both feeling themselves. They're both playing really good. But man, Antti Raanta, he's just been on such a tear as of late. I would say go with him. As far as other lineup predictions, yeah, I expect it to really be more of the same for the Hurricanes. I don't expect Rod to make a whole bunch of changes. Obviously, as of right now, it is 11:38 in the morning here in Raleigh as I'm recording. So I doubt we're going to have anything in the way of a potential lineup. And there's nothing posted as of right now on the Hurricanes website for a projected lineup. But again, this is something I'm not expecting a whole lot of changes. I would say it's pretty much going to be the same that we've been seeing. We're going to go down the last lineup against Tampa Bay because I figure it's probably going to be the same as that with Svechnikov, Aho, Jarvis, Teravainen, Kotkaniemi, Natchez, Martinook, Stahl, Fost, and then Nathan, Stastny, Stepan, with really the only potential change being if Puljujarvi ends up slotting in. If that is the case, I would see either Nazen or Stepan being the odd man out. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes. That's something that we won't know until later on today. I don't even know if they've started practicing yet this morning. I think they have, but I'm not 100% sure there. But on the defensive side of things, I expect no changes there. Things have been going great with Slavin Burns, Shea Pesci, and Gostisbehere and Chatfield. I don't expect any changes there at all. It sucks. I love Calvin DeHaan. Probably not going to see him tonight. Same with Dylan Gladglen. You ain't going to see him. And then again, as I said, when it comes to in goal, I fully expect Antti Raanta to be the guy tonight. But I could very well be wrong with that. I've been wrong so many times when it's came to that. I've been good predicting other things this season. Somehow, some way. I don't know how. But projecting lineup, I have not been good at that. I have definitely not been good at it. But yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This has been firing on all cylinders. You look back to whenever Rod flipped Svechnikov and Teravainen a few weeks back of just how good that top six has been when it's come to registering points. I fully expect this to be the go-to for the remainder of the season, really. I don't expect, I mean, we're obviously always going to talk about projected lineups and make those predictions, but we've got like a lineup that really works. There's not really, obviously, everyone has bad games, but as a whole, this lineup works. We'll see how Puljujarvi ends up slotting in tonight when it comes to that. But that's going to be something we'll talk about tonight whenever we get to that, if we get to that. But I personally fully with the way the Hurricanes have kind of talked about it in their stuff online, I personally am expecting him to make his debut tonight. I am. I'll look at the preview that the Hurricanes put up here, is mentioning that that his debut is possible. Newly acquired forward Jesse Puljujarvi could debut as soon as tonight for the Canes, acquired last Tuesday from Edmonton in an exchange for unsigned prospect Patrick Puistola. The 24-year-old winger had an appointment yesterday in Ottawa to resolve his visa issues before heading to Montreal to meet the team. I am fully expecting him to make his debut tonight. I really, really am. because usually I would be very concerned with, a guy debuting so quickly after meeting the team. But with the way things with Ghost went, I'm a bit more relaxed when it comes to that. Now I'm not, 110. I'm not 100% of like, oh, we gotta play him. Sorry, boys. I scared my dogs when I slapped that. But I'm not 100% sold on, we gotta play him tonight. We gotta do it. Not 100% in that boat. But you look at how well it went with Ghost. Why not give it a shot? Why not? Because, with him, like I said, he's not going to be, slotting in there in Seth Jarvis's spot or something like that. He's going to probably slot down in either Nazen or Stepan's spot. That's where they're going to put him. I'm really confident in that whenever he makes his debut, whether it's tonight, whether it's Thursday. I'm fully confident in that of him slotting in there on that fourth line. I don't see that third line breaking up at all. I don't see the top six breaking up at all. So that's where it's going to be. And, I think that would be a good spot for him. Ease him in. And that's, one of my big keys for the game is if he does debut tonight is to ease him in. And we will talk more about the keys to the game, my keys to the game right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, you guys know I am really big on taking care of yourself. That's a big goal of mine for the new year. And a great way to do that is with Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything while still tasting good. It supports better sleep quality and recovery. It supports mental clarity and alertness. It is the one thing with the best things because Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing. They don't skip and they don't cut corners when it comes to that kind of stuff. And folks, it is really important to take a good multivitamin. Again, one of my big goals for the year is to take better care of them, better care of myself. I'm meeting with a trainer here in a few days to get a good workout routine back after being really injury prone. And a big part of taking care of yourself is, again, that multivitamin. And tons of people take some kind of multivitamin. And it's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every single day to take great care of yourself. And your subscription comes with a year's supply of vitamin D, which is really important right now because we're kind of in that weird in-between stage in North Carolina where, it's, really hot for this little part of the day, but then it's really cold for part of the day as well. So you may not be able to get as much sunlight as you normally would in the spring and summer. So right now it is time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now, keys to the game. As I mentioned before the break, a big thing for tonight, for me is if Jesse does debut, to ease him in. Don't expect him, to be like a first line winger or anything like that. Really ease him in and work with him, because, we've talked about in the past, how Speary, didn't live up expectations, Montreal, with his draft position. And he came in, he was really eased in, and really worked with and developed, and now he's really coming into his own in that second line center role. Now it's kind of the same thing with Puljujarvi. in my opinion, he's drafted really high, hasn't really lived up to expectations there in Edmonton. So I would say, put him down that fourth line, really work with him, really practice with him. And again, it's going to be his first game. I am not expecting, a thing of like Ghost's first game, how he came in and made such like an immediate impact. I'm not expecting that. I'm not. And I said that earlier in the episode that I'm not expecting that. But, another big thing for tonight's game, like I said, take advantage of the way that Montreal has been struggling when it comes to creating offense. And the Hurricanes need to score first, because there's a really cool stat here is that the Hurricanes have scored first in a league leading 40 times this year. And they are 32-4-4 in those games where they score first. And that is second in the league behind only the Boston Bruins. So, this season, it's on their side. Whenever they score first, they're probably going to win or at least go to overtime. So, score first, take advantage of the way that Montreal is struggling offensively, really create a lot of pressure on the defense. This has been something that over these past few games, these last two especially, have been really good at just, again, firing on all cylinders. I said for a while is, they're firing on 7 instead of 8, but right now, with that addition of Ghost, they are firing on all 8 cylinders. They are rocking, ready to go. Offense is rolling, defense is rolling, goaltending is rolling, penalty kill is rolling, and power play is rolling. And that brings me to my final key for the game is the power play. Like, it is going right now. Do not change a damn thing with that power play. Do not change anything with the power play. It is working. Don't change anything. But like, I cannot stress that enough. We have got the power play going. That has been the one thing, my one main criticism all season long with this team is just how poor the power play has been. It has glimpses. It's had glimpses of just how good it can be. And now we are seeing just how good this power play can be. Do not change anything. Don't change where anyone's at. I believe Ghost is operating on the second unit. Keep him there. Keep him there. Those guys, they're clicking. Don't move him to the first unit. Don't move anyone around. Keep it where it's at. It's working. Let it work. Like I said with the forward lines, the defensive pairs. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It is working tremendous right now. When things start to peter off and if they get bad to where they were, then okay, shuffle some things around. But right now it's rolling. Am I expecting them to go 75% on the power play again? The way they had been 3 for 4, 4 for 5. Am I expecting that again? No, I'm not expecting that. But I am expecting them to get a power play goal tonight if they get a power play opportunity. I'm expecting that now from them because it's been so good in these past couple games. I'm expecting a power play goal now. That's the first time I've expected that all year long. Okay? The fact that I'm expecting a power play goal is ridiculous. I saw this the other day because we talked about it all year long of just how far down the Hurricanes power play has been when it comes to operating. It's bottom of the league. I want to say it before the addition it goes. I want to say the highest it got was like 22 or something like that. Like mid 20s was probably the highest it got. And as of right now, it is 13th in the NHL. Operating at 22% right now. It was, mid 20s at best throughout the regular season. Okay, I didn't crack my phone. I thought I cracked my phone for a second because it landed on the spiral of my notebook. But It is rolling right now. Do not change anything. If they just keep on the path they're going, they're golden. They're golden. Now, again, I'm not expecting them to get the majority of their power play goals. I am expecting a power play goal, but I know, hey, you're not always going to go 100% on the power play every night. I'm not expecting that, but I'm expecting them to get a power play goal. I'm expecting them to have their power play look like it's a threat. That even if they don't score, they're generating momentum that they can carry back into even strength. And I'm expecting that from them tonight. And I really hope that tomorrow, when we're recapping in this game, we're talking about how the power play was a threat. I'm hoping that we're talking about how, oh, we got another power play goal. It's continuing to rise through the ranks again, being as good as it was last year, being as good as we know it can be. But that's just something we're going to have to wait till tomorrow when we recap this game against Montreal. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping we do see the debut of Puljujarvi tonight, the Bison King, but we're just going to have to wait and see on that. I really hope so, and I know you guys are hoping for that as well, and we will talk about all of that in tomorrow's episode of Locked On Hurricanes. So make sure you are following the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes, and myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96, and subscribe to the show on YouTube. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow when we recap this game against Montreal. And as always, let's go Canes.